Coming right up on today's episode, the R11 form, what USCIS is proposing to collect every time a non-citizen changes their address, what public charges enforcement means, and why immigration attorneys are calling this a surveillance expansions hiding inside a paperwork update. Then DHS shuts down its own immigration detention watchdog. And thousands of immigrant truckers are losing their commercial licenses right now. Already strained supply chains are losing drivers, and the Americans are starting to feel it. Globally, Americans are flooding Canada with citizenship applications. Why everyday people, not celebrities, are digging through family trees for a way out. Stay with me. If you have not subscribed, like, commented on this channel, please go ahead and do so. Now, let me explain to you what Form AR11 is. It's not the AR-17 or any type of gun name. The AR-11 and exactly what USCIS is now proposing to do with it. Before, non-citizens living in the United States, with very few exceptions actually, is legally required to report a change of address to USCIS within 10 days of moving. This has been the law for decades. The form, called AR-11, has always been simple: your name, your old address, your new address, file it online or by mail, and you're done. Now, on May 7th, USCIS published a notice in Federal Register proposing it to dramatically expand what that form collects. So, under this proposed change, filing the AR-11 would now require you to provide your current employer and employment status, your school enrollment and educational history, and whether you have received any public benefits or government assistance, including Medicaid, food stamps, housing vouchers, or any other means-tested program. Now, USCIS explicitly stated in the Federal Register notice confirmed by Manifest Law Review of the filing that this information may be used to enforce immigration laws, including rules tied to public charge policies and benefit eligibilities. Now, what does that mean? Public charge means public charge is a legal standard used to determine whether someone applying for a green card or certain other immigration benefits is likely to become primarily dependent on government assistance for support. If USCIS determines that you're likely to be a public charge, they can deny your application. It's been used historically to target low-income immigration communities and communities of color specifically. Under this proposal, every time you move, you must be filing to disclose your job, your school, and other means-tested programs, and it will be in USCIS enforcement database. That database can be used to cross-reference against your pending green card application, against your neutralization case, against your your eligibility review. Moving to a new apartment has become a federal reporting event with potential immigration consequences. Now, immigration attorneys are describing this as a surveillance expansion hidden inside a routine paperwork update, because most people, when they get notices saying update your address, don't think of it as a moment where they're handing the government information that could be used against them. Now, this is a proposed rule. It's not final. The public comment period is open through July 6th of 2026 at regulations.gov. Every non-citizen, every advocate, every immigration attorney, and every U.S. citizen with an immigrant family member can submit a formal comment that becomes part of the official legal record. Immigration attorneys are urging every affected person to submit before the deadline. Again, the comment link is regulations.gov, as I posted there. Search AR11, submit before July 6th. That is AR11. And while the USCIS was quietly expanding what it collects, DHS has quietly shut down one unit responsible for checking what happens to people once they're inside the system. NOTUS reported May 6th, and NPR confirmed DHS shut down its internal immigration detention oversight unit during the recent DHS funding lapse. So what does that really mean? The Office of Detention Oversight was an internal body responsible for conducting unannounced inspection of ICE detention facilities. It investigated complaints of abuse, viewed death in custody, documented violations of detention standards, and referred findings for accountability. It was the mechanism inside DHS that was supposed to catch what was going wrong before it became a headline. We covered the East Camp, Montana inspection report on this channel before, the one that was documented with 49 violations, including failure to document suicide prevention text, inadequate medical care, and staff refusing to file use of force reports. Now, that report came from an external contractor inspection. The internal oversight unit, the one that would have been follow up, enforce accountability, and return to verify correction, is now shut down. The unit simply stopped operating when the money ran out, and when Congress restored DHS last week, the oversight unit was not restored with it. No announcement, no press release, no acknowledgement from DHS leadership that the body responsible for catching abuse inside detention facilities had been eliminated, essentially. And thousands of immigrant truckers are losing their commercial driver license as direct result of Trump administration immigration enforcement crackdown. Now, here's what is happening. CDL, commercial driver license holders are required to maintain a valid legal status as part of their licensing requirement in most states. As immigration enforcement has escalated, DACA recipient whose renewals are stuck in USCIS backlog, TPS holders whose status are being terminated, and other legal immigrant caught in processing freezes are losing their legal status of documentations. What happens when that documentation lapses is that the CDL becomes invalid. They cannot legally drive. Now, commercial driving is the backbone of American supply chain. Approximately 72% of all freight moved in the U.S. travels by truck. The industry was already facing driver shortages before the immigration crackdown. Now, according to American Trucking Association, the industry was short approximately 80,000 truckers, from before 2026. And now this crackdown is removing thousands of experienced, licensed drivers from the workforce tremendously, simultaneously. And here's the way that it applies to us in our daily lives. Supply chain already strained by the Iran war, fuel prices have surged, already dealing with Spirit Airline collapsing, affecting their cargo, and now losing a ground level capacity. Grocery stores, construction sites, medical supply deliveries, everything that moves by truck is affected when truck drivers disappear from the workforce. Now, the ones that are being stripped of their licenses are not being replaced. The shelves do not know or care why the truck did not come. We are just going to suffer. And in December of 2025, Canada expanded its citizenship by descent rule following a court ruling. People with Canadian-born ancestors, including great-great-grandparents, can now apply for Canadian citizenship regardless of how many generations removed they are. According to CIC News, the most trusted Canadian immigration news outlet, early demand for this pathway is surging, and the fastest growing applicant is Americans, not celebrities. Canadian immigration attorneys are describing the interest as unprecedented. Americans are asking specifically about dual citizenship, whether they can hold U.S. and Canadian citizenship simultaneously. The answer is yes. Canada allows dual citizenship, and the United States does not require you to renounce when acquiring a foreign nationality in most cases. So Americans seeking an immigration option out of their own country, and the exact same time the government is making it harder for immigrants to stay. The irony is not subtle. I keep thinking about moving or to live in a country where moving home, one of the most basic human acts, becomes an act of legal vulnerability. And I keep thinking about the Americans quietly searching for ancestry websites at night, looking for their great-great-grandparents born in Canada. Both of these are happening right now in America at the same time. Share this post. If you or someone you know has a pending immigration case, they need this information. Submit your comment for the AR11 proposal at regulations.gov before July 6. Subscribe, drop a comment, and tell me what you're feeling tonight or today. Until next time, I leave you in the care of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Fi amanillah.